first anniversary of Australia's first confirmed COVID case, some good news.
The Therapeutic Goods Administration announced that they had approved the Pfizer vaccine for people aged over 16 years here in Australia.
This is a very special day for Australia. We are in this wonderful position of still having no community transmission, and yet we've approved through our normal, proper processes the first vaccine.
The Pfizer BioNTech vaccine is one of a new state-of-the-art class of mRNA vaccines. In its phase 3 trials, it was found to be 95% effective after 2 doses at least 21 days apart. We've ordered 10 million doses, enough to vaccinate 5 million Aussies.
Commencement remains on track for February. That's likely to start with approximately 80,000 doses per week.
If those numbers seem a little on the low side, it's because they are. Global demand for the Pfizer vaccine is currently roughly double what can be supplied. And the new technologies involved in making it mean it can only be manufactured overseas. At 80,000 doses a week, it would take almost 2.5 years to vaccinate 5 million people. In comparison, the AstraZeneca vaccine can be made here by CSL, who'll be pumping out 1 million doses a week by late March.
Commencement remains on track for February. The completion remains on track for October.
With the first round of injections still about a month away, there's a lot to be organised. But we have time, a luxury other countries don't have.
In the last 24 hours, 570,000 cases globally and 14,000 lives lost. That comparison is almost unbelievable, the difference between where we are in Australia and overseas.
Well, the Health Minister Greg Hunt, who you just saw there, is speaking to us now from Canberra. Minister, 80,000 doses a week seems pretty low. That's the starting point. When do you expect people will have received all 10 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine?
So the Pfizer vaccine will be received through the course of the year. We're hoping to make sure that all Australians are vaccinated who seek to be vaccinated by the end of October. We'll have another vaccine, AstraZeneca, subject to approval beginning in early March and increasing with the Australian doses of the CSL-produced AstraZeneca to over 1 million a week in late March. So it will pick up, and we're in a very fortunate position. We've been able to do a full and thorough assessment by what I think is the best medical regulator in the world, and we have strong security of supply because we'll be making the bulk of our vaccine here in Australia.
It's a big day, Minister. It's a day, I guess, that we've all been waiting for, but there's still a lot of questions to be answered. Like, do we know yet how long the vaccine will provide immunity?
No, the world doesn't know. Some vaccines, such as flu, are needed annually. Others will give you lifetime protection. At this stage, we know that it's safe. We know that it's effective, that it, on the clinical trials, has had 100% impact in terms of preventing serious illness, hospitalisation and loss of life. Of course, as the world rolls out these vaccines, we'll learn a lot more.
One of the other things we don't know, Minister, is there's various mutations of the virus. Does that mean the world is going to have to constantly be developing new vaccines that might not be of any use against a new mutation of the virus? At
this stage, the advice we have is that the existing vaccines, which have been developed within a year, to think that it was a year ago today when the first case was diagnosed in Australia. The advice we have is that these vaccines will work against the known mutations of the virus. One day there may be something which requires a new vaccine, but because we've got the platform, the development will, in all likelihood, be nowhere near as complex or difficult as that which has already been done. It's just, you know, in a difficult world, sometimes we have to stop and say, wow, what an amazing thing that science and cooperation has delivered.
Well, let's hope it works. I mean, given the experience in Norway, are you still...
With so much content online, it's sometimes hard to keep up with it all. And let's face it, who has the time? The Project YouTube has you covered with the stories that matter. Hit subscribe for a daily list of the news that you need to know.